The arts continues an impressive streak. For more than a decade now, it's appeared on the Hollywood Reporter's list of the best drama schools in the world.
And this year it came in at number 3. This is the second year in a row it hit that spot. The school says it's the only public American institution to make it to the top 8. The Hollywood Reporter cites many factors, including the School of Drama's undergraduate program, its comparably low out-of-state tuition rate, and notable alumni.
In Greensboro, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University is celebrating a $20 million donation. The money will be divided up between scholarships, creating professorships in artificial intelligence, international opportunities, and to promote the Chancellor's Speaker Series. This donation comes from an anonymous donor. Alrighty, we are going to have to take a quick break. We're talking about the roster for Team USA is almost finalized next. The latest athletes to punch their ticket to Paris. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. A Davie County nonprofit is in dire need of donations to stay open, but it is closer to its goal. The Humane Society of Davie County says it's raised more than $32,000 since we originally reported on its Raise a Paw 50 to 50 challenge in May. They do still need help, though. The nonprofit says by the end of this week, it needs to raise $50,000 or will be forced to close its doors. So this coming Friday, they are having a paint party fundraiser, and you can find a link for more information on that and to donate on WXAI12.com. Tomorrow, we hope you'll join us and Second Harvest Food Bank. We'll be set up at the Lowe's Food on South Main Street in King to collect non-perishable food items and monetary donations. Just one can of food can make a huge difference in our community. If you can't make it out in person, there will be a link on our app and website to make an online donation.
As for the items that are most needed, this includes fruits. Examples include unsweetened applesauce, 100% fruit juice, also veggies including low or reduced sodium canned varieties, even spaghetti sauce.
You can also donate grains, proteins, shelf-stable items like flour and spices.
This week marks 1 month until the start of the 2024 Summer Olympics.
Feels like this countdown, we've been just getting closer and closer.
It's
I can't
like
believe
never ending.
we're a month away though. This year's opening ceremony along the River Seine is July 26th, so 31 days away from today. Team USA is coming together on the track at least. Athletes punching their ticket to Paris include Michael Norman, Jeremiah Davis, Cole Hawker, and Quincy Hall. On the women's side, Anna Hall, Nia Atkins, Allie Wilson, and Juliet Whitaker are all heading to Paris. But reigning champ Athing Mu is not after falling midway through the first lap of the women's 800 meter.
WXII 12 News is your home for all the Olympics coverage. You can watch all the action for this summer's games in Paris. That opening ceremony once again July 26th.
A new report exposes risks athletes in Paris could face this summer due to the increasing heat and humidity levels caused by climate change.
This report is titled Rings of Fire, Heat Risks at the 2024 Paris Olympics. It was published by the British Association for Sustainable Sport, an organization helping athletes engage in environmental issues when talking about the Olympics.
According to the report, the Tokyo Olympics 3 years ago were the hottest summer games on record. Temperatures in Japan exceeded 93 degrees and the humidity levels were around 70%.
The humidity is really what adds to the heat stress on our bodies. And so it increases the risk of heat-related illnesses from dizziness, heat cramps, exhaustion, all the way to heat stroke. So it really puts these athletes in a dangerous position.
One recommendation the association makes to Olympic leaders is to alter the schedule of competitions so they can take place in cooler months or cooler times of day. Some things you just can't really control, especially, you know.
The weather.
Yeah, really and truly.
Can't control it.
I do my best.
I know you try, Brian.
Yeah, if we could, I think we would probably have it in the summer 80s, a little bit lower humidity.
Yeah.
I would
nice.
say 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
The temperatures we've had, though, aren't really a big stretch above normal. I mean, we usually sit in the summer with average highs in the mid to upper 80s. And when you get to days like 92 yesterday, you're only talking about numbers that are about 5 degrees warmer than normal. So, you know, we do see dozens of 90-degree days in a typical summertime. And we are expecting to see more in the short term. In fact, 4 days in a row now, we've gotten somewhere between 91 and 93 degrees. So a couple of Fridays ago was our first of the year at 92 back on the 14th. We average about 33 a year. Most of those come during July and August. We usually get about 7 during the month of June. And the way things stand, we'll be pretty close to that number. I think we'll go above it by a couple, but we do have a couple of days in the forecast this week that just get below 90 degrees. We'll see if that holds. Let's look ahead before we talk about the day's forecast. And is this a pattern that we're going to have to pay attention to? Well, based on some of the climate outlooks that we see, yeah, month of July looks like it's going to be a pretty hot one throughout the Northeast, through the Mid-Atlantic, and right here in the Carolinas. And if you extend that out for the rest of the summer and even into September, we are expecting warmer than average temperatures during a large section of that time. So 33 days, yeah, we'll probably hit that 33 90-degree day mark pretty quickly. And even though we have better rain chances in, this might be tropical based. When you look at a 3-month period of time like this, we could use the rain at this point. And we certainly haven't seen too much of it of late, too. Drought's going to grow before it gets better. Conditions right now are in the upper 70s with some mid 70s farther west. You get to the mountains and even North Wilkesboro, temperatures are at 70 or lower. Skies are relatively clear. We've got some clouds that are still around, but they're going to continue to evaporate this morning. A few fair weather clouds may rebuild in the heat this afternoon. We're expecting temperatures back in the lower 90s today east of the mountains and closer to 80 degrees up in the high country a little bit later today. Today is a relatively low humidity day, so we're thankful for that. We'll start to build back some humidity tomorrow and our temperatures, so heat index may approach 100 in a few locations tomorrow. There's your break from the heat Thursday, Friday. We'll have a rain chance on Thursday. High humidity in place this weekend with highs in the 90s and a late weekend rain chance.
Brian, thank you. Time now is 9:21. While many indicators show the economy is improving, many Americans are less confident.
A recent survey by KPMG asked American adults about their spending habits. The majority said they plan to spend less this summer on things like restaurants, travel, entertainment, and personal care products. That's a vast difference from last year when Americans were splurging on vacations and high-priced concerts. On the right side, unemployment is down and inflation is slowing.
The Biden administration and Treasury Department are taking steps to make housing more affordable. Several new initiatives were announced to help finance the construction of new housing projects. This comes after a Zillow report revealed the nation is short 4.5 million housing units. The Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that shortage is why both home buyers and renters have seen home prices surge in the last 4 years.
We face a very significant housing supply shortfall that has been building for a long time. And this supply crunch has led to an affordability crisis.
This comes amid record high home prices and the highest interest rates in decades.
We have to take a quick break, but stay with us. The Local Vibe returns in less than 3 minutes.
Well, here's a look at some of the top stories the WXAI 12 newsroom is following at this hour. The North Carolina State Senate has passed a de-annexation bill affecting Summerfield. This is a part of legislation that would make several changes to local laws and communities across our state. The proposal would remove nearly 1,000 acres from Summerfield town limits for a housing and retail development. This now goes to the North Carolina House for a vote.
In High Point, police are investigating another string of business break-ins. The latest targets include Goofy Foot Tap Room, Capra's Deli, and Duck Donuts off East Chester Drive. This is surveillance video from Duck Donuts that happened yesterday morning. The masked suspect smashes the glass door before going inside and taking what looks like a safe. That was the previous footage you saw. There have been 7 reported break-ins at other High Point restaurants between May 17th and June 8th. Police believe the same person committed those crimes, but would not say if that suspect is also behind these latest break-ins.
There's a chance for parents to make sure their child's car seat is good to go for any summer travels. The High Point Police Department and Safe Kids Guilford County are holding a free car seat check today. This will take place at the Publix on North Main Street in High Point from 10 a.m. through 1 p.m. We are told booster seats will also be available there while supplies last. Coming up, prepare to rock the vote, the special event making sure your voice is heard during this year's election.
And later on, we have your entertainment headlines. David Daniel has a preview of the popular book series being reimagined for TV.
And needed time to heal without us.
Start your morning right. Start your morning right.
You're watching The Local Vibe on the Triad CW.
Start your morning right.
Good morning and welcome back to The Local Vibe. You are right on time to say hello to our next live guest.
Yes, okay. We know the 2024 presidential election is getting closer and closer. A local organization wants to ensure eligible residents are able to cast their vote. The Pink Vote Voter Registration Drive is an event that's going on this Thursday, June 27th. It's being held at Forsyth Seafood and Cafe in Winston-Salem.
And here to tell us more is Quamika Shavers, founder of Shavers Political Consultant LLC and organizer of this event. Quamika, good morning. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Can you first tell us more about the Pink Movement and what its goal is?
So people typically think that the pink is associated with women's rights and things of that nature, but actually it just happens to be my favorite color. And I am very instrumental in the community of getting people to register to vote and actually following through and ensuring that they get to the polls and vote. And so I just named it the Pink Vote because I wanted it to be fun. I wanted it to be something young and fresh and different, and it didn't make people feel like they had to vote one way or another, because it's really just about taking that first step and getting them registered to vote and getting them into this culture of voting and understanding how important their vote is.
That was my first question when I saw this topic. Why did you call it the pink vote? So thank you for explaining that too. If you could tell us about the location and why you're choosing to focus on the East Winston area.
So that is where I grew up. I grew up right in, there was a economically driven development behind Forsyth Seafood is where I grew up. And we are targeting Black and brown communities with low voter turnout, point blank and period. I am an alum of the illustrious Winston-Salem State University, and I also want to ensure that we're able to keep that voting site down at the Anderson Center. So of course my first stop was my old stomping ground was East Winston. I love Forsyth Seafood. Miss Virginia is an amazing advocate within the community. She always allows us to put our political signs in, her yard area right in front of her business. And so it just seemed like the perfect place to have the event.
Well, let's talk about the event more for Thursday's voter drive. Who would you encourage to attend and what can people expect?
So everybody is more than welcome to participate because voter registration is a nonpartisan effort. So I want to be extremely clear about that. So I am a Democrat, but guess what? I have registered many of Republicans and fine to do it because, again, it's a nonpartisan effort. I want you to bring your non-registered voters, your inactive voters, voters who haven't voted since, 2008. Okay, so I want them to know that your registration might be inactive at this time because you haven't voted in a while. I want anyone who believes that they are eligible to vote. We will take also 16-year-olds who can pre-register to vote. Everybody, it's open to everybody, but I targeted that area because I definitely wanted to focus in on that area so I could increase voter turnout in East Winston. And I'm also going to be hosting events for the north side of town and also the south side of town as well, because I want to increase voter participation, voter engagement, voter literacy. I don't want people to shy away from this opportunity. I want them to understand how important and powerful their vote is.
Quimika, why do you think voter turnout in that area that you highlighted is the way it is, and what do you hope that efforts like this will eventually have once the election passes, or even before the election?
So I want to speak from personal experience, but also try my hardest not to speak for others. Mm-hmm. I grew up and I didn't know anything about voting. I didn't witness anyone going to the polls to vote. So it was something that culturally for me was not important. It didn't involve me. I didn't think it had anything to do with me until I went to college and my friends were voting. So of course peers listened to each other. So I went to go vote for my first time in college at the Anderson Center. So I personally believe that sometimes when people believe that something doesn't impact them, if they feel like they don't have any true input or control over how something goes, then it's out of sight and out of mind.
And
a lot of people.
Oh, please finish your thought.
I'm sorry. A lot of people believe that politics are rigged and that whoever they want in there is going to get in there anyway. And it really doesn't work like that. It really is a numbers game. And if you don't put in your vote, then perhaps maybe somebody that you feel like are not favorable for the community will get in because people who do vote went and voted for them, and enough did so.
We really appreciate your insight, Quimika, and your time this morning joining us on the show. We hope for a great event coming up this Thursday for you. It is called the Pink Vote Voter Registration Drive. You'll see them outside the Forsyth Seafood Market and Cafe, as well as inside. We'll have this segment posted on triadcw.com later on in case you missed anything. And of course, be sure to spread the word.
Also happening this Thursday in our commitment news, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump will participate in their first debate of this presidential campaign. You can watch that live over on WXII 12. NBC special coverage begins at 9 p.m. of this. Afterwards, we'll also have a political scientist join us live in studio for analysis during the 11 o'clock newscast.
All right. Brian, it's your turn now to talk about our Tuesday weather, if you will, please.
Yeah, clouds are starting to clear a little bit out there and temperatures are warming up. It's going to be a pretty day with a lot of blue skies. This is a live look at North Carolina A&T State University where we have fewer clouds we did before. We have our first 80-degree reading down in Troy, currently at 81. Temperatures across the rest of the Triad are catching up fast, upper 70s with some mid 70s across the north and into the foothills where temperatures did drop into the 50s early this morning. A very refreshing morning for summertime. High of 91 degrees. It's going to be hot, not quite as humid as yesterday was. South winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour will continue to building the heat and building humidity for another day or so. We'll talk about rain chances that could bring us some relief from this heat coming up in just a little while.
Also coming up, send your next letter with a nod to one of America's favorite game show hosts. How the United States Postal Service is honoring Alex Trebek. It is 9:39 now. Time to see what's trending. Okay. I'm excited about this one. Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis confirmed Freaky Friday 2 is now in production. They're reprising their roles of mother-daughter, Anna and Tess Coleman. The producers are keeping details about the plot mostly under wraps, but Disney did reveal the movie takes place years after the original, and Lohan's character now has a daughter of her own. Freaky Friday 2 is scheduled for a 2025 release.
Wow, that is going to be so popular.
Yeah.
My goodness. All right, in other trending headlines, the U.S. Postal Service is honoring the late Jeopardy host Alex Trebek with his own stamp.
Pre-sales for that began on Friday. Each stamp shares the same clue. This naturalized U.S. citizen hosted the quiz show Jeopardy for 37 seasons, and the correct response, which is, who is Alex Trebek? A book of 20 stamps resembles a Jeopardy game board.
That's nice. Post offices will start selling the Trebek stamps in person next month. This year marks the 60th anniversary of when Jeopardy first started airing on TV. Trebek was the host for more than half of that time.
A best-selling children's fantasy book trilogy has been adapted as an animated streaming series.
David Daniel explores the world of Wandla.
I was raised underground, in a bunker.
The Earth was sick and needed time to heal without us.
Now, after years of training, I am finally ready to meet other humans.
A teenage girl raised by a robot confronts her future in Wandla.
Wandla. Is someone looking for me?
Something forces Eva to flee her sanctuary and discover a world she was not expecting.
Whoa. Where am I?
Showrunner Bobs Ganaway says author Tony DiTerlizzi drew on his own parenting concerns.
He can raise his daughter as best he can, and then she's going to go out in the world and have to take on challenges that may or may not be the same. Well, in our world, definitely different than the world we grew up going out into.
If this is Earth, what happened? And where is everybody?
Series star Janine Mason says voicing Eva reminded her of why she became an actor.
My idea as a kid of what being an actor would be like was all imagination, all play, all silliness. And that really is voiceover. So it does feel so full circle.
Terry Hatcher knew the story well. She narrated the Wandla audiobooks.
I think the books ended up feeling like, you know, a familiar mattress that you could just lay on and be supported, and, you know, you knew was full of depth and weight and you know, beautiful comfort.
Someone out there wants me to find them.
Time to jump! In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Great. Thank you so much for staying with us. Universities across North Carolina will welcome back thousands of students in just a few weeks.
And many of those students are seeking ways to pay for continuing their education. So our next live guest this morning is here to share the benefits of filing for federal student aid and its impacts here in our state.
Joining us now is Brandy Kennedy, the Director of Secondary and Post-Secondary Programs at Shift Ed. Good morning. Thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just first start with what is Shift Ed and who do you serve?
Yes, so again, I'm Brandy Kennedy and I serve as the Director of Secondary and Post-Secondary Programs here at Shift Ed. And Shift Ed is a local nonprofit located in Guilford County that serves students from kindergarten all the way through college. And we serve students in the sense that we help them navigate their career in college and workforce opportunities and support them along that trajectory with exposing them to various opportunities to help not only pay for college and their career, but also just explore what their trajectory will be post-graduation.
Thank you for explaining that, Brandy. If you could now talk about FAFSA, who is eligible to submit their application?
Yes, so any student who plans to attend a 2 or 4 year public college or any institution should complete the FAFSA. And so any student, regardless of their income, that wants to be considered for federal, state, and school financial aid programs should submit the FAFSA.
And how does the state support students when they are trying to file?
Yeah, so the state supports students in a lot of various ways. One of the ways is partnering with organizations like Shift Ed. So NCSEAA has partnered with various education organizations and different community stakeholders that specialize in college access and supporting those students. So continuing to partner and collaborate and maximize impact through collaboration.
Okay, and Brandy, let's talk about the Next NC Scholarship. What is that and who maybe could qualify?
Yeah, so there are many scholarships that help students support the cost of tuition and fees, as we know that is one of the #1 barriers to paying for post-secondary education. But the NC Next Scholarship is a financial aid program that helps North Carolina households whose income are making $80,000 or less, and it works to support the cost of full tuition and fees at any community college and most of the institutions in the state of North Carolina. So it helps to offset the cost of higher education for those families.
Gotcha. And what other support resources would you say are available for students looking for that assistance?
Yeah, so of course, continuing to stay connected with the different organizations in the community that are doing the work. So such as the College Foundation of North Carolina, organizations like Shift Ed and other community partners that are continuing to provide FAFSA support. I would continue to stay connected with them, but also ensure that if you have not already, submit your scholarship for Shift Ed if you are a Guilford County graduating senior. So we also offer a scholarship to help support the cost of tuition for families at a variety of different household incomes.
Brandy, I'm curious, what would you say is the biggest misconception when it comes to filing either the FAFSA or other kinds of scholarship? What are some issues that you think people are coming in with when they see you?
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of different misconceptions just about the goal of FAFSA. So understanding that the FAFSA does not just provide opportunities for loans, but also provides opportunities for you to receive grants and scholarships, but also to be considered for programs such as work study. So I think that the largest misconception is that, my family may make too much, or I'm not interested in paying back money for school. So I think that the FAFSA is that gateway to being considered for different types of institutional, state, and federal aid. And so I encourage all families, regardless of their status or income, to complete the FAFSA.